Jeffrey Epstein, suicided in a New York City jail. What do we know? Who didn't see that coming? Classic Clinton suicide? Coming up next on Deceptions of the Ages News. Hello everybody and welcome to a special edition Deceptions of the Ages News. I'm sure you've heard the news. It's Saturday. Jeffrey Epstein has been suicided in a New York City jail. Now, how do we know he's been suicided? Well, obviously he's been involved with the Clintons, and enough, we're going to go over some other reasons and some likely candidates. But reason number one is the first thing I heard out of this story is that the cameras were in no way malfunctioning, which means that they're trying to cover up because they turned the camera off when somebody went in to kill him. So why would they do that? And who are they? All right, so let's look at the likely suspects first of all. Number one, of course, the Clintons. The Clintons have every motive to take this guy out. They don't want us to have their reputation tarnished and possible jail time in their waning years as their legacy for their fouled presidency and Secretary of State Clinton's unsuccessful attempt to sail out the United States of America. Suspect number two. Well, suspect number two is obviously the British royal family. The British royal family has every motivation to take out Jeffrey Epstein because he was going to blackmail the British royal family, which I think they've put out over the course of a few hundred years, that if you try to mess with them, they're going to kill you. Suspect number three. Well, of course, it's the intelligence community. Now, when we look back at the intelligence community, that covers a really broad area. So which particular part of the intelligence community are we talking about? Let me think. Now, I did a video about this when Jeffrey Epstein was originally interred for this charge, and the reason I did the video is because Israel was about ready, on the verge of war with Iran, and I said in my video, and you can watch it here, I think is the link, or here somewhere, watch this video and you will see my hypothesis that Jeffrey Epstein was what we call a blackmail or honeypot operation, where you get people to do things that are morally questionable so that you can use that information against them. So we established early on when we talked about why Jeffrey Epstein was not charged and why he was given his dream sentence where he had sex or whatever with these underage girls, used them as prostitutes, but then didn't even go to jail for it. So pretty odd thing, but in the end, what did they say? The guy who let them go, I guess his name was Castro. So many Castros running around. So anyway, this guy that let him off, he said it was a matter of national intelligence. Really? So it really doesn't take a rocket scientist or anybody that's more than 20 years old to know that this is how it works in the United States. That let's just go back at least to the 60s, before the intelligence community got in bed with the mafia. Now what the mafia does is they get you to do something illegal or something that you don't want other people to know about. And once they get you to do that, they have you hooked. Well, once the CIA and the FBI started dealing with the mafia, well, that seemed like a pretty darn good system. Well, it was not only a good system for the U.S. intelligence agencies, it was also a very good system for the Mossad, or the Israeli intelligence agencies, and they have tried a couple of these operations, but none so sophisticated as the Epstein, what was that, Lolita Island thing, where they were trying to snare these people so that they could get them to support Israel's causes in their time of need. All right, so there you have probably the most likely reason and the most likely candidates for the people who killed, or suicided, I should say, Jeffrey Epstein. Now, how would the Israelis get into a jail in New York City? Well, the fact of the matter is they don't have to. Because if you look in post 9/11, the world, all of these police agencies, the NSA, the sheriff's departments, etc., you don't know who's working for who. So it's no stretch of the imagination to know that somebody in that police unit got into the jail or let somebody in. Remember how Lee Harvey Oswald was executed? Somebody opened the door for Jack Ruby, right? So it's the same thing. Somebody just opened the door and let Jeffrey Epstein's suiciders in. So if you believe anything that the government's saying about this, you have got to be a complete idiot. Jeffrey Epstein was suicided, and he was suicided by the Clintons, possibly. By the royal families, most likely. By the intelligence community in the United States, maybe, maybe not. By the Mossad, and by somebody in the U.S. intelligence community paying the Mossad back for a favor that they've done, most likely. Now, before we go, I want to remind you of one thing. Because when John F. Kennedy was killed, and when all these people are suicided, they leave no credible evidence, right? Just remember that. No credible evidence. Now, this channel is called Deceptions of the Ages, Mormons, Freemasons, and Extraterrestrials. And I just want to bring your attention to the Book of Mormon, which really talks about these secret combinations, and that's nothing more than what this is. It is a secret combination of the FBI, the intelligence communities, the royal family, the Mossad, and our own intelligence communities, all working for the extremely wealthy. They are creating a show for you. Now, in the Book of Mormon, especially in 3rd Nephi, you hear a lot of these secret combinations. There's the Gadianton robbers, there's the Kishkamen, and they go about conducting these secret murders in order to take control of the government. Does that sound familiar? You really should read the Book of Mormon, not for any other reason, but then to find out what can actually happen to a society that is going down the road we're going on. And if you don't want to read the Book of Mormon, read my book, Deceptions of the Ages, Mormons, Freemasons, and Extraterrestrials, which takes you from the Book of Mormon through history all the way to today's secret combinations and secret government. It's an amazing story, and it would be really amazing if you didn't have to live it and if you weren't affected by this. But the fact is, we are controlled by secret societies. John F. Kennedy warned us about secret societies. President Trump is not a Freemason, he is a Christian. And one thing these secret societies all have in common is that they hate. What else can we say about this Jeffrey Epstein affair? What about the people that were going to be charged? Is this a get out of jail free card? Well, I can guarantee you now they're going to be able to pick and choose who's going to hang and who's not. So that's the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. I really encourage you to check out my book, Mormons, Freemasons, and Extraterrestrials, called Deceptions of the Ages, because the deceptions of the ages are just getting started. And if you keep believing this rubbish that is coming out of the lies in the media, you're in for a real roller coaster ride as they take away your freedom. This is Deceptions of the Ages News, and we'll see you next time.